The message, the theme for tonight was selflessness is usfulness. The theme tonight is about the self being as many selves that exist simultaneously coming into one wholeness. Essentially the premise of unity, what creates unity consciousness, how do you maintain your sense of personhood, your sense of self, but be in the state of usfulness. That was the word that came through. That's the word that they gave me, usfulness. So selflessness is usfulness. I think the point that I would make is that we often use that idea of selflessness as in doing for others, but in this context, it's actually being in the state of consciousness of kind of a global community. It's the consciousness of unity. It's the consciousness that the self doesn't require the amount of attention that we usually give it. We usually give our attention to our needs and wants and desires. And the opposite of that would be to be in the consciousness of all of us in unity at the same time. That's what usfulness is. It's simply being in that state of consciousness. It's interesting too, because I think that if you were to talk to a Buddhist about what enlightenment would be, he or she might have a point of view that the obsession that we usually have of the self, the obsession of I need, I want, me, kind of goes away. And there's just this ever-present awareness that all things are in unity, that we're all existing in some sort of perfect synchronicity. Everything is in its rightful place at every moment. And you have everything that you would ever need all the time. Everything is in a state of perfection, which means that it doesn't give any space to worry. Like, you don't have to worry about that, as if something is holding you where you always need to be all of the time. So that would be what enlightenment would be, an awareness of that, a presence of that. In Lakota, there's a phrase, mitaku ye oyasin, or what they sometimes say, mitaku yasin, that means all of my relations. And a relation is everything that you come into contact with. It's the grass, it's the mosquitoes, it's the trees, it's other people. There's an underlying principle to much of the Lakota philosophy that everything is in a symbiotic relationship with one another. Everything in creation has a consciousness, and everything is alive. And we interact with all these things not as separate than ourselves, but as in an awareness and recognition of the unification of all things. That's my preamble for this evening. With that, let's go ahead and get started. Make yourselves comfortable and get ready to drop in. So go ahead and find a comfortable position. Make any micro adjustments to your body to allow yourself the opportunity to forget about the physical form and notice the breath that's moving in and out of the body, the breath of life moving in and out of the body. And as you notice that breath moving in and out of the body, imagine that with each breath you're breathing deeper into the fabric of creation. Your awareness that we're breathing the same air that has been breathed for billions of years. All beings that take in oxygen have been taking in the same oxygen the same atmosphere, the atmosphere that gives us life, and you're a part of it right now. And so with each breath that you take, you are breathing in all of history. You're breathing in the breath of your ancestors. You're taking in the breath that has cycled through millions of creatures, many of which are extinct, many of which have lent their experience of being what they were to the overall conscious matrix that exists as consciousness around this planet. All of the dinosaurs, all of the ancient trees, ancient amphibians, ancient flying creatures have all shared in the experience of the consciousness, the intelligence that moves through being a living entity on this planet. And we've all breathed the same air. We've all drunk the same water in different forms. So as you breathe, recognize that we are a part of history. Even though we only live for a very short time in each incarnation, we are a part of this planet's history and evolution. So as you breathe, imagine that you're not just breathing in through your respiratory system, but you're breathing in through your DNA. You're breathing in and out through your entire body, through every cell, through every nerve fiber, and you might imagine that as you breathe, each breath is coming in from all around the planet, and it's being sent out all around the planet. Breath of life. With each out breath, you go a little bit deeper. Your awareness stretches out a little bit further. Your memory opens a little more. Your sense of belonging increases a little more. And when you're ready, I'm going to invite you to take a mental snapshot of the room that you're sitting in right now. And it's kind of interesting to go from being fully expanded to now moving back to this very small space, becoming more aware of your body, but more aware of the room that you're sitting in. And from your memory, I want you to start to trace a line at what would be about eye level of where you're sitting around the room, as if you were following your memory around the room, along the wall, until you hit the corner, and then move along the next wall. And I suggest doing this going sunwise. That's what we would say is going around clockwise, moving around the room until you hit each corner, and then moving more along that wall. And as you do so, just notice, are you crossing windows? Are you moving over the edges of molding? Are you crossing over pictures or picture frames? Is there something up against the wall that you are moving over? And you don't have to go fast, and you don't have to go really slow. You go at the pace that is comfortable for you. As you use your memory, as if your eyes were open, you can see what is in the room. Your subconscious mind has been taking snapshots of it for a really long time, and you'll be surprised to discover how strong your memory is, and all of the things, the distances that you cover as you move along the room. Going clockwise, covering every space, continuing to move along the surface of the wall, crossing doors. And if you go across a doorway, that's fine. Just imagine that the door is closed. And if there is no door through the doorway, you can just jump from one side to the other easily and effortlessly, moving around the room sunwise, keeping your focus and your attention along the surface of the wall, going over any little bumps. And you may even notice, as you do so, the texture of the things that you were crossing. Is the wall textured? Are the doors smooth? The window panes definitely smooth? Are there curtains that you're going across? Can you sense the texture of the fabric as you move along the walls, keeping your attention on the surface of everything that you are crossing? Just noticing all of the details, all of the nuances. You may even start to notice temperature differences, like if you were crossing a window, you may notice that the temperature is a little bit different. Keeping your attention on the surfaces, on the textures, on the bumps and the ridges. And then when you're ready, I invite you to imagine that you're actually using your finger to touch those surfaces. So before, the textures and the temperatures of the surfaces may have just been something in your mind. Now imagine that you're using your finger, and you can feel with your finger what it would feel like to touch all those surfaces as you go around the room. Keeping your focus, keeping your attention on the subtleties and noticing that you're not just doing this from your memory, but your body is actually there at the surface of the walls, the surface of the windows, the surface of the doors. So you're actually in two places at once. How can that be? You're in your body, sitting, and at the same time you're also moving along the surface of the wall, touching the wall with your finger as you go along. So you're actually in two places at once. You may even be able to look back at yourself sitting in the room as you run your finger along the wall, walking around the room, however that is for you, walking through furniture so that you can touch the surface of the walls, and the windows, and the doors, and the space. And you may be moving over pictures, moving over molding, and you can feel it all with your finger. And yet there you are, sitting in your chair at the same time. Just notice what it is like. Allow yourself to experience being these two things simultaneously. Notice if your mind is trying to deviate into other thoughts, and simply bring your attention back to your finger, running along the surface of the wall, round and round the room, noticing the details, going at the speed that is most comfortable for you. However you do this is just perfect. And when you're ready, I'm going to invite you to imagine that not only is your finger feeling the ridges, the edges, the textures, the temperatures, but it's leaving a trail of light behind. And that light can be any color. Could be green, magenta, could be turquoise, could be lavender. Whatever color is appropriate for you, you are leaving this beautiful trail of light glowing behind you. And part of you may want to turn and look at it from the consciousness that left it there. And the part of you that's sitting in the room may want to look at it and see what that trail of light is like. And these two different parts of you may see it differently. Wouldn't that be interesting? Just continue to allow your finger to feel the textures, the temperatures, and to observe this trail of beautiful light that you're leaving behind. Continue to notice the two perspectives that you hold from the chair where you're sitting and the body that is leaving this trail of light behind along the surface of the wall, going sunwise around the room, over the many surfaces, pictures, windows, doors, whatever is there. Just notice, experience. Notice any thoughts or sensations about what this experience is like for you. Stay tuned into how you experience this. You may feel wonder, you may feel joy, you may feel confusion, you may feel disorientation. You may feel a sense of fun and play. Just notice whatever it is that you're experiencing. And as you continue to draw this line of light along the wall, you may notice your body that is sitting in the room. You may pop back and forth between these two consciousnesses. And the one that's sitting in the room may be experiencing how large the universe is, as the other part of you is drawing this line of light along the wall and noticing this space in which it exists. Part of you notices the infinitude around you, as if the horizon goes on forever in each direction, as if there is an immense spaciousness occurring, while the other part of you continues to draw the line of light along the walls. And that part of you that is connected to the spaciousness, I'm going to invite that part to pull in every living being, toward a center, as if you decided to pull in all the consciousness of all trees. And first you would have to recognize the energy signature of all trees. And what would it be like to know what the energy of all trees is like? As if you already had inside of you the ability to communicate with all trees, and you invite them to come with you into a center where your body is located right now. And then you might invite all aquatic life. And what would it be like to know that you had within you the language to speak to all aquatic life? And you invite them to come with you to a center. And what if you knew the language of all minerals, all rock formations, all crystal formations, and you invited the entire mineral kingdom into this center right now, right here. And then what if you were to invite all other plant life, all the flowers, all the fruit-bearing plants, and you had that amazing ability to be able to communicate with them all and invite them to the center. And then all of the winged creatures, bats and the birds. What if you knew that inside of you is the ability to communicate with all of those beautiful songbirds and invite them into this center? And then all of the four-legged creatures, from the mole to the elephant and everyone in between. If you had a language inside of you, express that outward and invite all those four-legged creatures to this beautiful center. This beautiful center. And then all of those humans, those two-leggeds, invite them. You have this language. Invite them all to the center. Invite them all to come to the center. And imagine that the part of you that has been drawing that line of light on the walls now starts to move a little bit faster around that center. Now you're going over the surface of each wall, of the four walls of the room that you're in right now. Every second going over another wall, getting a little bit faster, until that line of light is becoming a single blur around the center. And then you notice up above you there is a light. The light is starting to materialize. And all those creatures that you invited in are starting to raise in consciousness. Because up until this point, you've been speaking many different languages. But something is happening now. The light is creating a unification. And you may hear now a sound, if you listen, a very low rumbling sound, very, very low pitch, but it's starting to raise in pitch, starting out very low, as if you can only hear it at the low end of the audible spectrum, but it's raising in pitch at the rate that is perfect for you. And it's going a little bit higher and a little bit higher. And as it does, you notice some sort of strange unification is taking place, as if the light and the sound are merging, as if the language of all living creatures, all minerals, all of life is starting to unify as the pitch starts going higher and higher. Slowly going higher and higher. And you may even feel like it's moving through your body, as if it started at the ground and is reaching its way up toward the sky. As the pitch grows higher and higher, it's pulling the light along with it from the edges that you have drawn on the walls. And all these beings, aquatic life and the birds and the trees, the two-leggeds and the four-leggeds, are all starting to merge into one consciousness, one language. And you may notice that what felt like at one point all these beings were having a hard time living together, it suddenly seems like it's effortless, totally effortless. As that pitch goes higher and higher, if you've ever heard a dog whistle, it's reaching for that. That would be the high end of the audible spectrum of a human being. Reaching as the light becomes more refined, as the language becomes more refined, as the unification becomes more refined, as we are experiencing a oneness, a beautiful, deep oneness. Rising up to the light above you, as if everything is merging into that light. And you can't help but feel lighter and lighter and lighter, as if you never needed a body, as if that pitch, that vibration is so high that it encompasses all of creation. And you are a part of that. In fact, it couldn't exist without you. And you feel the sense of beauty, of warmth, of love, as that vibration gets faster and faster, that pitch goes higher and higher, as your sense of oneness becomes more refined, as you feel the center, this beautiful center. And you realize that healing well, this is what it is. This is the healed state. This is the recognition of a beautiful perfection. And you are sharing that with all people, with all animals, with all plants, with all trees, with all minerals. How beautiful it feels to be in this sense of oneness, this sense of unity, where everything is perfect. From this level of consciousness, you may look down there below you to the planet Earth, where 8 billion people are living their lives, staying alive, sharing and caring and needing and wanting and desiring and failing and being successful. And you may hold this light of higher consciousness and healing within you and ask your ancestors, your spirit guides, your guardian angels, your protecting spirits to come and help you share this light throughout all of time, throughout all of history, throughout all of now, everywhere that needs this light, this unification, this healing. And you may send it as a sound, as that high pitch. You may send it as a vibration. You may send it as a light. You may send it as a warmth. You may send it as a love. And it's reaching all of those places and all those people that you know of that need it so badly. And it's easy. It's effortless. You don't need a degree or certification to be in a healed state and to share that with others. You just be it. Because you already are and always have been. Everything is perfect, exactly how it is. As we raise our vibration, come into unification, experience ourselves not as separate, but as usful. This is usfulness. Usfulness. Being full of us. Share your warmth and your love in unity.